the end of my life, St Luke's changed my life.
In the comfort of my own home.
They helped me get my independence back.
And helped me to walk again.
I thought it was just a waiting room to die.
So I was pretty scared about coming.
But when I'm here, I wish I could stay longer.
For the music therapy.
Or the massages.
And the big helping of humour.
And the friends. The hospice made me realise I'm not the only one going through this.
I learned a lot from my companions.
Like how to celebrate life.
Even in difficult times.
And tough conversations.
You can cry at St Luke's and somebody is there to give you a hug and a cup of tea.
There's nothing they can't do.
Whatever I need, anytime, night or day.
They help me to manage the pain.
Enough to send me home again.
I would have been lost without them.
In football, you don't get too many opportunities to win silverware.
We're going into this game thinking that we're confident.
And we like to press, win the ball back high and attack.
It'll be an exciting game. Pretty sure it'll be an end-to-end game.
A lot of attacking play.
A lot of goals. We're an attacking side.
So hopefully a lot of crosses, a lot of goals, a lot of excitement.
We embody what is at the club. You know, we play with that high energy, that high intensity, with the same style of play.
We're playing for silverware, so everyone's going to be up for it.
The whole group's thoroughly looking forward to the Tuesday night.
We are almost set to go for Brentford B against Barnet in the Middlesex Senior Challenge Cup final. Kickoff is due in about 15 minutes time, perhaps even 10 minutes time, as we're almost ready to go. We can run you through the teams. Welcome to the Beverley Stadium here in southwest London as we are ready for the Middlesex Senior Challenge Cup final between Brentford B and Barnet. Kickoff should be due in about 5 minutes' time as we're almost ready for the sides to come out onto the field. And it's not a bad turnout this evening here inside the Beverley Stadium. And it looks a good mix as well of Brentford and travelling Barnet fans, of course, from northwest London, as the teams are in the tunnel currently and ready to come out soon, being led by the referee this evening, Connor Griffin, as we approach the 128th final of this competition, the most prestigious competition in Middlesex, as we will bring you team news as well in just a couple of minutes' time when the teams come out. As Barnet, the technical hosts this evening, have won the competition 2 times, all the way back in 1932 and 1933. They've also lost a couple of finals as well in 1922 and 1926. For Brentford as well, they've won it a couple of times. They were the 10th champion of this competition back in 1898. That does show how historic the Middlesex Senior Challenge Cup is. As we say again, the team's ready to come out very shortly as the crowd is gathering, the last few coming into the stadium now as we speak. As we've got a pretty packed out stand opposite us, where we are just above, I should say, the 2 sets of managers, as we're almost set and ready to go for Barnet against Brentford B. And I must warn you that the announcer here at the stadium this evening, currently as we speak, is saying that the players are taking their time. But just like he is, I'm expecting the teams out very, very shortly, as we have our first chant actually from the Barnet fans to our right, just behind the goal in the I should say stand, but it's more the place where you literally stand up, so as it looks like the Brentford fans are to our left and the Barnet fans are to our right. As we can now see the Brentford players ready out of the tunnel there to the right. Barnet players to the right and Brentford to the left. As we're almost set to go, the ball in the hand of the referee Connor Griffin this evening. His 2 assistants, I might mention, Nathan Briggs along with Sebastian Fraser. And the 4th official just below us is Danny Mansour. As we're almost set for the final. As it should be a nice break for Barnet, really, from their poor National League form in the last couple of weeks. They've had back-to-back defeats in their last 2 games. But perhaps form goes out the window a little bit, especially when there's a trophy involved, which we can see just as the players are ready to enter the field, as they are doing now. And a big ovation from the crowd, both Brentford B and Barnet fans, as it's the first chance for silverware for each of these sides this season. Brentford actually have another final in the London Cup in a few weeks' time. But why not win tonight when there's a trophy up for grabs, as they walk over to the middle of the pitch. As both sides in their home strip this evening, Barnet in the orange and black and Brentford in their traditional red and white stripes. As we will run you through the teams. We're going to start off with technically the host this evening, Barnet, as Jake Askew starts in goal. He started the last 4 games in the league for Barnet. They go with a back 4 on the right. It's Jordan Thomas who starts. On the left-hand side, it's Rhys Greenwich with Ben Richards-Everton, along with Ross Marshall, who is the captain this evening, filling up the 2 centre-back roles. The 3 in midfield for Barnet, Ryan de Havilland, along with Wesley Fonguk and Rob Hall. And that finally leaves the front free for Barnet of Rees, Grego Cox, Adam Marriott, who scored twice in 5 minutes in the semi-final against Northwood to get Barnet to this stage, along with Ephron Mason Clark, who looks to be coming in from the left-hand side. And we'll run you as well through the Brentford team too. In goal is Matthew Cox. He hasn't played in this competition for quite a few rounds, actually. It was the first round where he was subbed off. However, he makes his return for the final. They go over back five, and we'll start with a three in the centre of it, with Nico Jones, along with Ben Hockenhall and Tristan Kramer. And then on the right, it's Lewis Gordon. On the left-hand side, it's Val Edadukan, who scored the 88th minute winner in the semi-final against Hampton and Richmond Borough, of course, the home stadium of the event tonight. As the two in midfield for Brentford, it's Jacko Oksanen along with Dom Jeffries, and that leaves the front free of Alex Gilbert on the left, Ryan Trevitt on the right, and top goal scorer this season with 28 goals. It's Nathan Young-Coombs up top for Brentford, as we're almost set for kickoff. Within the next couple of minutes is what we expect, as the two sets of players shake hands, ready for what will hopefully be a fierce contest in the final. As it's Barnet who will kick from left to right in this first half. Brentford will kick from right to left, as we are ready to go in just a moment's time for the final. So we're just waiting to see who is, or which side it is to get us underway for the final, whether it is to be Brentford or Barnet. There's a few players scattered around the centre circle, as kickoff is imminent. And perhaps it looks like Barnet will be getting us underway with the two Brentford attackers in Young-Coombs along with Trevitt lining up on each side of the centre circle. As it's the two captains this evening, Dom Jeffries for Brentford, along with Mason Clark, who will have a chat with the referee Connor Griffin before kick-off. And perhaps now we'll find out who will be kicking off and which side it will be. As again, it's the Barnet fans to our right who are making the noise at the moment inside the Beverley Stadium. And there's more Barnet fans joining us just below, making their way to the stand to our right, as the captains and the referee, along with the two linesmen, shake hands for one last time before kickoff, as we're almost ready for the final. And it will be Brentford B getting us underway. And it looks like it's going to be Ryan Trevitt standing over the ball, ready to get us going. Let's see which of these sides can get their first major piece of silverware on this campaign. So it is the Bees against the Bees, but who will sting fiercest over the next 90 minutes? We'll wait and see, as referee Connor Griffin make sure everyone is ready, as Brentford get us underway with a pass back towards Oksanen and a quick pull forward as Rob Hall takes it down on this right-hand side, and our first challenge between both a Barnet and Brentford player goes in. It's Adedukan with the challenge on Rob Hall, and it does go out for a Barnet throw down the right-hand side. It's Jordan Thomas ready to take it down the line for Barnet. It might have been a high boot there, a couple of appeals, and the referee Connor Griffin does agree. So it will be that Barnet free kick just inside the Brentford half. Right in front of the Barnet manager, Dean Brennan. And perhaps an early chance for Barnet to get the ball into the Brentford B penalty area. It's Rob Hall who's set to take it. He does have an option just behind him, as it actually might be De Havilland ready to take. Rob Hall making the overlapping run, although it's straight in from De Havilland and it's headed on at the edge of the box. It might break down the left-hand side for Richard Everton, but it looks like perhaps he was in an offside position. He was, so Brentford B will get themselves a free kick. It's not a bad start for Barnet. An early chance to get the ball into the Brentford B penalty area. But let's see if Brentford can settle down now with possession, although as I say that, they've given it away, and it's Fongak who's broken out with it for Barnet. But as he tried to play one in behind the Brentford B defence, he's overshot the pass, and it will be the Brentford B goal kick again. And perhaps they can do a better job of it this time than what they did with the offside free kick just a moment ago. And it's Matthew Cox ready to take. This time he's changed his mind. He's going to go long, although he's going to have to retake it, as we're not too sure why just yet. Perhaps the referee wasn't quite set. But let's hope he is now for take two of the goal kick. And so the usual distractions from the Barnet crowd just behind the goal, as he gets it just beyond the halfway line. It's a towering header won, though, by Richards Everton, and perhaps an early chance to drive forward for Mason Clark. Let's see what he can do midway between the halfway line and the Brentford B penalty area. As it's Fongak down the left-hand side. He plays it further out wide now. And this is Richards Everton, who's happy on the ball despite playing in defence within the Brentford B half. As Barnet just about keep it, and they go on down this left-hand side, and they've won themselves a free kick. It looks like it was Grego Cox who went down. But a good start from Barnet. They've had good territory in this early stages. And now another chance to get the ball into the Brentford B penalty area. Will it be Rob Hall this time? He let it go for the first free kick. But it looks like he's going to take it for this one as it goes towards the back post. And it was headed on that time by Ross Marshall, who came up from defence. But it was quite a way off target in the end. Did well to win the header, but just couldn't direct it on towards goal. As for the first time this evening, we're going to need another ball. As Matthew Cox doesn't have one, but he's got it at his feet now. So we played about 4 minutes or so in the final, as it's the first chance perhaps for Brentford B to break forward down this left-hand side with Gilbert. He's got an option behind him with Jeffries, and he goes infield. And now another chance for Gilbert as a no-look pass, and a chance to drive forward, that time for the number 11 Trevitt, but he just got it caught under his feet, so the move will slow down, but Brentford are still on it down this right-hand side. As they to dart forward now with Lewis Gordon. He's going to go back to his centre-back, Hockenhall. And there's a ball towards the penalty area, and young Coombs couldn't quite get onto it. It was a good header away by Ross Marshall, and can Barnet break? Not with a pass like that, though. As Brentford back on with it. And they've got it with the number 6, Nico Jones. Now down this left-hand side with the attacker, Alex Gilbert. So he's going to go back this time to Jeffries. And Brentford again having it down that left-hand side, but it was a good challenge, though, from the Barnet fullback, Jordan Thomas. As Barnet, despite some protests from Brentford B players, have a throw down the right-hand side. As Fongak's being pressed this time by young Coombs, but he couldn't get it off the Barnet player, who now have it down this left-hand side with Greenidge, as he looks to go down the line this time for Barnet. Can Fongak get there? He can't. And now Matthew Cox, but he's taken a tumble, and he's just about got away with it. Coolly dealt with in the end to pass it short towards Ben Hockenhall, but Brentford B can't keep it. As Barnet have it with their centre-back, Richards Everton. Tries to play one direct down that left-hand side. As it's Grego Cox now dribbling infield. Robert Hall on the edge of the area. Can he get a position to shoot? No, as Brentford might have a chance to break themselves now. As it's Gilbert, who's been heavily involved for the Bees so far. with a chance to drive forward. Now down the right-hand side this time for Brentford, with Lewis Gordon switches it back over to the left. Now it's Adedukan, a rare involvement for him as he gets a ball towards the back post. Young Holmes is going to struggle to keep that in, but he's done well to touch it back in towards the Barnet penalty area, as there was a slip in there. And it was Richards Everton who was able to deal with it initially, as it's still breaking out inside the penalty area. And eventually the defending was done in there from Thomas, but it's still alive now. And then a good challenge that time from Mason Clark, who comes back from an attack to help defensively for Barnet. So Nico Jones to take the throw for Brentford B down this left-hand side.
Barnet Robertson trying to keep the announcer on his toes. I've noticed an alteration. Number 18 is on the field, number is Wesley Follow, and instead of number 24, Jake Askew.
There's just a delay to the throw. There is a player in the Barnet penalty area. It looks like it's Ross Marshall, who's had his boot taken off, which is why there is a delay to this Brentford throw down the left-hand side. But in a moment we'll be all set to take it. He's just doing his laces up now, so he's almost ready. And he is now, so Brentford B will be able to get on with the throw. This is Gilbert, as he's dispossessed. Was there a foul in there on Mason Clark? There was, according to referee Conor Griffin. So Barnet will put an end to the Brentford B pressure, which they've just been putting on them for the last couple of minutes. And a first touch for goalkeeper Jake Askew for Barnet, who's conceded 12 goals in his last 4 games in the league for the Bees in amber this evening. As he kicks it long down that left-hand side for Barnet. As they've got it just in front of the halfway line now with the number 33 de Havilland. Although as Brentford win it back, there was a challenge and perhaps an early yellow card. There's a good breakout there from Ryan Trevitt. And we're just waiting to see if the yellow has been given. I think it has actually. And I believe it was de Havilland who is the player to be booked. Perhaps maybe just one final warning, as there's complaints for handball down this left-hand side. And Brentford not too happy because it has been given in favour of Barnet for the handball, so they'll get a free kick again down their right. There's another chance for Jake Askew to take with the free kick just behind the halfway line. It's Brentford B holding a very high line. Can Barnet get in behind it? We'll wait and see. As then it goes to that left-hand side again. And there's a header on by Richards Everton. Can the keeper get there? No, it was headed away that time by Kramer. As it breaks on the edge of the box now for Barnet with the fullback down the right, Jordan Thomas. And he was taken down, so it's going to be another free kick for Barnet. This time a more advanced position, though. And Dean Brennan is complaining that there could have been a booking there for the Brentford man. But the referee not giving in for the yellow card just yet. As it's between Rob Hall and Ryan de Havilland to take the free kick for Barnet. They've had a few. This is the best position they've had so far, though. As it's Hall with the ball into the penalty area. It's dangerous at the back post, but in the end, it went over everyone. And despite some claims for a Barnet corner, the goal kick has been awarded. And it's taken short this time by Matthew Cox. He's going to get the return, and he's going to be pressed again here, and he just about managed to toe punt it out to his centre-back, Kramer, as he struggled by his own corner flag. It was brilliant pressure there from Barnet. It was Rhys Grego Cox down at that left wing, putting the pressure on Tristan Kramer. And take 2 with the goal kick once more for Brentford. So once more, Barnet happy to hold this high line at Brentford B, which has forced Cox to go long. And inaccurately go long as well as it goes straight out of play for a Barnet throw down this left-hand side. It's taken by Richards Everton down the line. The header was matched though by Tristan Kramer. Greenwich takes a throw this time, but it wasn't too much better, although he is back on the ball now for Barnet. Richard Everton plays it sideways towards Marshall. Cook's happy to play it short again for Brentford B, although they'll go more direct this time with an attempted ball up towards Young Coombs. Couldn't quite take it down. That's good work from de Havilland. This is now Greenditch and towards Richards Everton. His ball down the line though was intercepted well, and Lewis Gordon tries to drive out. The last touch came off the Brentford B man, so it will be a throw for Barnet again down the left-hand side. As Richards Everton has just been asked to move back a few steps before taking. Barnet can't do much better with this throw either, as it goes straight out for a Brentford B throw now down this right-hand side to be taken by Lewis Gordon as he goes down the line, and now a chance to drive forward for Brentford B's. It's good work to dribble inside, and Rob Hall just hesitated for a moment for Barnet as Brentford now have it down this left-hand side. It's Adedukan. Nico Jones was making the overlapping run, but it's gone infield towards Dom Jeffries, who's got a little bit of room on the edge of the area as he goes for goal. Not just missed the goal, missed the whole stadium as well as it goes straight over it and out for a Barnet goal kick. But the first shot towards the goal comes the way of Brentford B. As the new ball being returned to the goalkeeper, Jake Askew. It was always a difficult distance there from the Brentford man, Dom Jeffries. He scored 2 goals in the 11-0 win against Broadfields United in the round of 16 of this competition. It would have been a spectacular effort if he was to get one there. That's Jake Askew ready to take the goal kick for Barnet. As it goes towards that left-hand side again. There was 2 Barnet players going for it. They both missed it. As Fongok battles away with Dom Jeffries. Here's a rare involvement early on for Young Coombs as they've got it down the left-hand side with Adedukan now, Brentford B. This could be promising as he tries to take it round Thomas that time, but it was good work from the Barnet number 2, and it looked like it came back off the Brentford player. And the referee agrees, so Barnet get themselves a throw. Not for the first time this evening. The referee just asking the Barnet player, and this time it is Jordan Thomas to take a few steps back before he throws it down the line. Marriott couldn't quite get his header first time round, but he wins the second ball, although Brentford B back on it now down the right-hand side. It's Lewis Gordon as he plays the 1-2 that time with Oksanen, and then the ball into the penalty area. That was dealt with well by Marshall of Barnet as they look to break now. And it's brilliant work there from Grego Cox, although he couldn't beat the second man, as covering in there for Brentford B was Nico Jones. That's a towering header one in there by Ben Richards Everton. Can Barnet pounce from it? As there's an option down the right-hand side with Robert Hall. That was ignored. This is Fongok now for Barnet, and a good shimmy away from Grego Cox. And he's brought down that time. I think it was Kramer down at that far side for Brentford B, bringing the Barnet player down to the ground. And now probably about the 5th opportunity for Barnet to get the ball in the Brentford B penalty area. It's the furthest wide that they've had a position like this. It's de Havilland out there to take for Barnet. It's going to be a right-footed ball into the Brentford B penalty area. And it's headed away at the front post. An important header away too. As Robert Hall tries to redirect it and keep the pressure alive, but Brentford B have it back, and it's a 3-on-1 situation. This could be a brilliant chance. Dom Jeffries leading the attack. He's got an option to his right, and he tried to return it back towards Dom Jeffries. And Barnet have got away with one there. Brentford should have punished. As it's Richard Everton, plays it back towards Marshall. It was a poor kick though from him, and Dom Jeffries is back on it now for Brentford. Swings an early ball in, and Young Coombs is in here for Brentford. And he goes down, but the referee says no penalty. I think it would have been soft if he was to award a spot kick there for Brentford B. But that's the best action we've had in the last couple of minutes. As Fungak's on it now for Barnet down the left-hand side. They've just about coped defensively a moment ago. Can they put some pressure on Brentford B now? De Havilland plays it back out wide down that left-hand side for Fungak. As there's pressure now from Lewis Gordon. Barnet back on it again. As this is Marshall. He's going to try and go long and direct towards the penalty area, and it could be a chance for Barnet as it was hit on the volley by Mason Clark. I think the flag's up, it is. So it wouldn't have counted. It was a superb ball from a very deep position there from Ross Marshall. It landed straight on the foot of Ephron Mason Clark, but couldn't quite connect with it. He was a goal scorer in the 1-0 win against Boreham Wood a few weeks ago for Barnet. Of course, Barnet's local rivals, Boreham Wood, as they had a 1-0 win, and he was the goal scorer. As Brentford B have it with Adedukan down the left, and it's a brilliant 1-2. Good work from Brentford B. Was he pulled back? He was, according to the referee. It's a foul by Jordan Thomas. And Dean Brennan's not happy with that decision from the referee. As Brentford B get on with the free kick. Hockenall over to the right-hand side now with Tristan Kramer. And Rob Hall's going to attempt to put the pressure on for Barnet, as it was coolly dealt with by Nico Jones. Here's Adedukan. And Dom Jeffries, brilliant first touch out of his feet. Can he keep it in play down the left-hand side? He does. As he looks to go infield now of Jordan Thomas. As Adedukan's going to get to that ball and send it into the penalty area. It was narrowly wide though from the number 9, Young Coombs. But another good move there from Brentford B, who are growing into this final. And Barnet at the moment are going to need to copy the energy that their crowd are showing behind the goal to our right. The goal kick is taken long. A towering header in there by Greenedge. Though Barnet can't keep it as it's Adedukan down the left for Brentford. Here's Dom Jeffries, a little bit of pressure on him, so he calmly plays it back to his goalkeeper, Matthew Cox. Nico Jones out wide towards Adedukan. It's a loose touch though, and Rob Hall is able to pounce for Barnet. Fongak back towards De Havilland. This is Marshall. It was a miss kick though from the Barnet number 8. Just about deals with it second time round. This is De Havilland, who hit it on the half volley. Not a bad touch there from Tristan Kramer. As it's Gordon now, down the right-hand side. And a rare touch in this one for Jeko Oksanen. Here's Nico Jones. It was a poor touch though. And Barnet are going to get themselves a throw now down the right-hand side. As Rob Hall throws it back towards De Havilland. Marshall being pressed, this time by Gilbert. He kept on going at the goalkeeper as well, Jake Askew, who was forced to go long for Barnet there. As Grego Cox plays one down the line for Barnet. Here's Marriott. Looks to play it down the line for Mason Clark. It was well read though by Kramer. There's a bit of shirt pulling there. Looked like it was either player on each other for a moment, as it breaks out for the goalkeeper Cox. That's a well-directed ball out to the left-hand side for Adedukan as he heads it on infield. And now a chance for number 10, Alex Gilbert, to drive at the Barnet defence as he looks to play one in behind. And as Travitt tried to get there, it was a strong challenge in there from Marshall for Barnet. And it looked like it came back off the Brentford player. So it will be the Barnet goal kick. There's 21 minutes played in the final. As it's Barnet 0, Brentford B 0. But the chances have been growing though in the recent moments. A couple of breaks forward, particularly for Brentford B, as they're back on the ball now with Tristan Kramer. Lewis Gordon now looks to drive forward, not for the first time this evening, but he was stopped that time by Fongak, although Brentford B have it back now down this right-hand side. There's still a battle away there, and it's Dom Jeffries who's got it on the edge of the penalty area, just got it caught under his feet, but he's found a good ball in Adedukan. Here's young Coombs on the edge of the penalty area. There's not much pressure on him as he looks to curl it towards that top right-hand corner. And what about that for an effort? And how about that to break the deadlock in the final? It's Brentford B1, Barnet 0. His 29th goal of the season, and perhaps his best. He's scored in every single round apart from the semi-final, but he's got it when it matters most in the final here. He also scored a brace against Barnet back in October when they met in a friendly, but it's anything but a friendly on this occasion. And it was anything but a kind effort towards the Barnet goal. It was a rocket towards that top corner, and Brentford B have the lead. And how can Barnet respond now? Brentford perhaps get another attack because they've got it with Dom Jeffries. Adedukan. That's good work that time by the number 11 Trevitt. He's going to have to move back out to that right-hand side again for Brentford B. As this is Lewis Gordon now looking to drive forward. The inverted fullback. This is Hockenhall as he returns it back towards Tristan Kramer. And he did well to turn away from Grego Cox. And it's a brilliant ball down that left-hand side. And it's Adedukan with a little bit of room. Can he get the ball towards the penalty area as he cuts it back for Dom Jeffries? Same position as the shot before. But that time there was a block in there from Marshall. But the pressure keeps on growing from Brentford B. Here's Dom Jeffries. A lot of room. As he chips one in behind. But that time it's Trevitt who's not going to reach it. And Barnet have themselves a goal kick. And perhaps a chance to just slow things down again. It's fairly narrow in terms of how Barnet are lining up for this goal kick. They're not really scattered around. They're all condensed in that area down this left-hand side by the halfway line. As it goes long down that left, it's going to break up for Marshall. And there's a ball in behind on the half volley. It should be the goalkeeper's, but in the end he struggled and perhaps got away with one there. He just hesitated, Cox in goal for Brentford B, as to whether it was going inside his own penalty area. Decided to head it in the end. As Barnet now in the mood to start pressing at Brentford B, and they've got it back with de Havilland down the right-hand side as he cuts it back, but it was a brilliant sliding challenge in there. It was Nico Jones. But that's the best we've seen of Barnet so far. As it's Rob Hall out to take this corner for the Bees. It's going to be an in-swinging ball towards the Brentford B penalty area. And it goes towards that near post. Didn't beat the first man. A rather disappointing effort there from Robert Hall. As Thomas back towards the corner taker. This is to Haviland, the man who won that corner just a moment ago. Robert Hall, he's got a chance to dribble inside as he gets his ball towards the penalty area. That was headed away by Cramer. As now Dom Jeffries again has a bit of space and a bit of time to drive forward for Brentford B. He's got young Coombs up ahead of him as he still goes on. As he tries to reverse it towards the number 10 of Brentford B, Gilbert. But Barnet just about read it on that occasion. But Brentford B will keep moving forward down this left-hand side with the throw. First time ball back from Gilbert. And Oksanen now. Cramer plays it down that right-hand side. Lewis Gordon, a little bit of room. Now a chance for the centre-back to drive forward as he plays it down the left-hand side for Adedukan, looking to dribble infield and play it infield as the return ball that time from Gilbert was misdirected, and it will run out for a Barnet goal kick. But Brentford B have been superb, I'd say, so far down this left-hand side. A lot of times that Val Adedukan has found some space to get the ball towards the penalty area. Perhaps they overplayed it just a little bit there. Of course, he did score from a cross in the semi-final in the 1-0 win for Brentford B. With a cross into the penalty area that, well, perhaps he'll call it a shot, but whether he meant it or not, he wouldn't have minded. It's Oskanen on the ball now for Brentford B. Down the left-hand side with Gilbert. Adedukan again powering down that left. With the overlapping run, here he is now. He goes infield this time. As Trevitt, was he brought down by Funguk? No, says the referee, and Barnet might look to break with Rob Hall leading the attack, but it was an over-hit pass towards him. And Brentford B back on the ball as they're starting to dominate it just a little bit in this final as they lead by a goal to nil. A little turn in the centre of midfield and a tight angle from Oksanen before playing it down the right-hand side for Cramer. This is Lewis Gordon now. Gordon's got it back and a chance to drive forward, although he just turned inside again. It's Trevitt now for Brentford B. Was he caught? Yes, says the referee. So Barnet early on had a few good opportunities to get the ball into the Brentford B penalty area. It's the first time this evening, with around half an hour gone, that Brentford B can get the ball into the Barnet penalty area from a dead ball situation. If Oksanen takes, then it will be an in-swinging ball. It'll be out-swinging if it is to be Alex Gilbert, but we'll wait and see. First there's a player down, just doing his laces, as the free kick is delayed for now. So here comes the Brentford B free kick. And it was a dangerous ball. It was an important touch in there from Richard Everton. And now Marriott, who hasn't been too involved as of late. But he's tried to play one in behind, and it was dangerous towards Mason Clark. But the referee's pulled it back, though. There was a foul on Marriott just after he released the pass towards Mason Clark. And there's just appeals from the Barnet manager, Dean Brennan, just below us for a potential yellow card. And there was also a few complaints that the move wasn't allowed to continue as well. I just wonder if Mason Clark was in an offside position, and that's why the referee pulled it back. But here is Mason Clark now, who does have it down the right-hand side. There's a couple of step-overs before driving a ball into the penalty area, but he's overhit it by some way. It's going to go out for the Brentford B throw. Tristan Crummer set to take the throw then for Brentford B. I'm sure he'll get it down that line, which he does do. Headed one in there, though, by Fongak. And it evaded Rob Hall. And young Coombs couldn't get his touch right, and perhaps a chance now for Mason Clark to drive forward for Barnet, right-hand side of the penalty area. Good ball across goal. Can Marriott get a shot away? But in the end, it was a little bit of overplay as he tried to backheel it towards Rob Hall. As Brentford B getting it clear, and perhaps starting their own counter-attack. Was young Coombs brought down? He was. And Ryan de Havilland, who I believe is on a yellow card, might just have to be a little bit careful with these challenges to stop the Brentford B counter. As Tom Jeffries plays it back for Nico Jones. Oksannon's got time. And he's measured a good pass out down that right-hand side for Lewis Gordon. The overlapping run was made by Ryan Trevitt. And once more, Lewis Gordon has space down the right as he looks to dribble infield, not for the first time this evening. Was he brought down? No, says the referee, and now a chance for Barnet to break perhaps. Can Mason Clark flick it on towards Rob Hall as it's back with the number 11 again for Barnet, right-hand side of the penalty area. They're growing in the game. Can they get the rewards for it? As he kept on going there, Mason Clark, and Rob Hall will keep it alive, and Marriott will get a shot away. As Fongak tries to get there for Barnet, and eventually Brentford B get it cleared. That's a good move there from Barnet. A couple of attempts to get a shot on goal, but Brentford B standing firm with the blocks. There is a player down currently for Brentford B, just on the centre spot. I think it's Lewis Gordon, who was dispossessed for what started that Barnet counter-attack down the right. He's okay now, so we'll be ready to get on with the throw down the right-hand side as Thomas goes back towards Marshall. He looks to go in behind, but the header is away. Fongak. A lot of players around him, but he keeps on going towards the edge of the penalty area, but he tried to play one in behind towards Rob Hall. He was never going to get to it. And now Cox perhaps will slow things down for Brentford B, who have dealt with a rare spell of Barnet pressure in the final. It's a superb ball down that right-hand side, as Lewis Gordon's got room again to drive forward for Brentford B. He plays the overlapping run towards Ryan Trevitt, who gets the ball into the penalty area. That's headed away. Gordon once more. It's a brilliant turn under pressure from Tristan Crummer, who will keep on driving on. Lewis Gordon again. Oksanen, and he's attempted to switch it towards Nico Jones, who will get there and keep it in play down this left-hand side. I'll say a loose touch in there from Gilbert under pressure, and he's brought down Mason Clark, and there might have been a bit of contact on the face of the Barnet 11. And the referee's just calling Alex Gilbert over now. It was a strong challenge as it was, without the contact on the face of Mason Clark, which is what's kept him down, as the medics are on the field now for Barnet. And perhaps there might be a yellow card for Alex Gilbert. We'll just wait and see. Jake Askew's not happy. He's come from his own penalty area to just have a word with the referee, Connor Griffin. As Mason Clark being dealt with. And the good thing is that he has managed to sit up now for Barnet. And there's always that check for any potential concussion, of course. A growing trend in football, rightly so. As the medics performing the 6 Rs, a common use treatment, just to make sure that the player is okay. And it looks like Mason Clark will be able to continue for Barnet, which is good. He does have to go off now. And Barnet's still asking for that potential yellow card. It's not coming, though. to the disbelief of the Barnet staff just below us. Jake Askew, the goalkeeper, kicks it long for Barnet towards the Brentford B penalty area. There's a flick on it, it's a chance for Marriott! And it's off the crossbar! Perhaps was it even a clearance off the line? Whatever happened, it wasn't a goal. And Marriott denied. The closest Barnet have come yet, as Brentford B were just calling for offside, but it never came. But nor did the Barnet goal. As Jordan Thomas takes a throw, and there's another ball towards the penalty area. It's going to break for Marshall, and he's been dispossessed, and Brentford B have a chance. And they're 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper all of a sudden. Young Coombs, who's already scored this evening, can he break away this time? No, because it was superb work that time from Wesley Fonguk to track back for Barnet and just to shield out any opportunity for Brentford B. That was a good challenge in there from Crammer for Brentford. And it will go out for the Barnet throw down the left-hand side. So Brentford B came close just a moment ago, but Barnet came even closer just before. As the score remains 1-0, but the final is heating up as the temperature inside the ground does fall. Crammer's done well to get his body in front there of Grego Cox for Barnet, and just to get it out for the throw. Here is Grego Cox now for Barnet. He's going to touch it back on towards Wesley Fonguk. Here's Marshall. It's back out towards Ben Richards-Everton. And he was put under pressure, and Brentford B have it back. Can they start a counter-attack again? It's been led by young Coombs as he goes on. Was he brought down? Yes, says the referee, and I'm sure there will only be one other outcome coming the way of the fullback, Reece Greenidge, who is shown yellow. And the Barnet manager, Dean Brennan, just below us, doesn't have complaints about the fact that it was a yellow card. But he's saying what's the difference between that and the challenge on one of his players, Mason Clark, just a moment ago. He's just questioning the consistency of the referee. But the bigger problem at the moment for Barnet is what Brentford B can do from this free kick just outside the penalty area. So it's a five-man wall in there for Barnet to try and defend it. It's Alex Gilbert or Jacko Oxenen to take for Brentford B. Not long before half-time as well. A second would do very nicely. But it's straight into the wall from Oxenen. A little bit of a waste in the end. He's going to get to the return ball, but he's given that away too, and Marriott might have a chance to lead the Barnet break as he looks to play one in behind towards Grego Cox. Can he get there first? No, it was really good defending in the end from Lewis Gordon. He won't be happy that he's conceded the corner, but it could have been a lot worse there. And this could be a good chance now for Barnet to get the ball into the penalty area. Looks like Ryan de Havilland, who's gone out to that far side to take it for the Bees. With the in-swinging ball, it's dangerous, it's punched away by Cox. Really strong goalkeeping, a lot of players around him. Here's Thomas, out towards Rob Hall. A good challenge in there from Dom Jeffries, the Brentford B captain. Here's Rob Hall again now, right by that goal line, back towards Thomas once more. And then a good block in there from Adedukan. And that throw goes towards Mason Clark. And that goes behind for another Barnet corner. And it was met with a big roar from those Barnet fans behind the goal. Could there be an even bigger roar if they are to score from this corner? Rob Hall to take. As we're approaching half-time in the final. It's a deeper ball this time, and in the end it was a poor connection from Reece Greenidge, who will now have to track back for his side as Brentford B ready to take the goal kick. And more jeers from the Barnet fans behind the goal as Cox ready to kick it long for Brentford B. Good header in there by Richards Everton as it's hit, kicked long down the line. Can de Havilland get onto it now for Barnet? It was actually Grego Cox as he kept on going on, and he wins Barnet another corner. The pressure building on the Brentford B defence, who have had a couple of chances for a second. It's not a bad corner, in fact it's off the top of the crossbar. In some style as well, directly from the corner kick. And there's only one thing better than a player scoring from a corner kick. This is if a player can score from a goal kick. Here's your chance, Matthew Cox. Not on this occasion. No surprises there as it's headed on that time, and Gilbert is able to take it down for Brentford B. Now a little bit of room for Jacko Oscarenta to bring it forward. Gordon. Now space in field as it's Trevitt who drove on, and Dom Jeffries got room to shoot, but it's not as accurate as the young Coombs effort earlier on in the first half. But that's not the first occasion there that a Brentford B player has had a lot of room on the edge of the Barnet penalty area to get a shot away, as the Bees of Barnet haven't quite learned their lessons yet from the Brentford B opening goal. But Dom Jeffries couldn't punish on that occasion. As it's kicked long by the goalkeeper Jake Askew. Fongak trying to battle away in the centre, but he's lost out, and Brentford B have a chance to drive forward. It's being led by Trevitt, who goes on, and there's a little bit of room down the left-hand side for Gilbert. Adedukan further out wide. As he looks to take on Thomas, but a superb challenge from the Barnet number 2. And it is to be a throw for Brentford B. And Jordan Thomas of Barnet thought it came back off the Brentford player, Adedukan. But the referee says no, so it will be a throw to Brentford B. As just on that left-hand side, Adedukan has remained down for now. It looks like he's going to help himself back up to his feet again. And he'll be straight involved back in the action because he's set to take this throw now for the Brentford B team. As he goes towards the penalty area, as it's taken down by Gilbert, who looks to drive on. Was he pulled down? No, says the referee, despite a roar from the Brentford B crowd. And now Barnet look to break. It's Mason Clark, a step over away from Dom Jeffries, as Adedukan was there to help out for Brentford B. Fongak now plays one down the right-hand side for Marriott. Good touch with his right foot to take it down. But in the end, wasn't on the same wavelength there. Mason Clark with the pass towards the number 11. And Marriott, who's come closest to the Barnet equaliser. And they've got 2 minutes now of stoppage time. 2 minutes to try and find an equaliser. But it is currently in the hands of Matthew Cox. It was a poor kick out this time. It was dealt with in the end by Nico Jones. Not very far, although Fongak couldn't keep the move alive for Barnet, as Matthew Cox will have it in his hands again. And will happily try and help see things out for half-time at least. It's a better effort this time In fact, it's the furthest kick he's done so far this evening. De Havilland's picked it up though for Barnet. Header one in there by Nico Jones. Gilbert touched it back for Adedukan. Down the line it goes. Can young Coombs get on there for Brentford? No, because Marshall's there to kick it long for Barnet. And it looked like it was Mason Clark who was pulling the shirt of Nico Jones. And both the linesmen just to our right-hand side and the referee have spotted it. So Brentford B will get themselves the free kick. So less than a minute to go before half-time, as we're deep into the 2 minutes added on. The header was one in there by Mason Clark from the kick long. Brentford B will take their time with a throw down this left-hand side. Adedukan will get the return. Taken down with the chest of young Coombs. Was he pulled down by Marshall? No, says the referee, Connor Griffin. So it looked like the last touch came off Nico Jones. He couldn't keep it in place, so it will be a Barnet throw down the right. One last chance in the first half to get the ball forward. As it's swiftly taken, but they'll have another chance now with Thomas down this right-hand side. A more advanced position, though, this time for Barnet, but there's not enough time to take it this time round. It was a rather tame start in the opening 10 minutes to this final. However, if you ever want a goal to break the deadlock in a Middlesex Senior Challenge Cup final, it's a goal like what Nathan Young Coombs scored. Not for the first time as well in this competition. He scored 4 in the round of 16. He scored in other rounds too, but most importantly, he scored in the final with a superb curling effort towards the top corner to make it Brentford B 1, Barnet 0 at half-time. We'll see you for the second half.
At the end of my life, St Luke's changed my life.
In the comfort of my own home.
They helped me get my independence back.
and helped me to walk again.
I thought it was just a waiting room to die.
So I was pretty scared about coming.
But when I'm here, I wish I could stay longer.
For the music therapy.
Or the massages.
And the big helping of humour.
And the friends. The hospice made me realise I'm not the only one going through this.
I learned a lot from my companions.
Like how to celebrate life.
Even in difficult times.
And tough conversations.
You can cry at St Luke's and somebody is there to give you a hug and a cup of tea.
There's nothing they can't do.
Whatever I need, anytime, night or day.
They help me to manage the pain.
Enough to send me home again.
I would have been lost without them.
In football, you don't get too many opportunities to win silverware.
We're going into this game thinking that we're confident.
And we like to press, win the ball back high and attack.
It'll be an exciting game. Pretty sure it'll be an end-to-end game.
A lot of attacking play.
A lot of goals. We're an attacking side.
So hopefully a lot of crosses, a lot of goals, a lot of excitement.
We embody what is at the club. You know, we play with that high energy, that high intensity, with the same style of play.
We're playing for silverware, so everyone's going to be up for it.
The whole group's thoroughly looking forward to the Tuesday night.
Welcome back to the Beverley Stadium in southwest London for the Middlesex Senior Challenge Cup final. As Brentford B are back out onto the field. We're just waiting for Barnet, who are entering now out from the tunnel as we speak. As we're almost set for the second half of the final. It's Brentford B 1, Barnet 0 as things stand. And we're just having a look out to see if there's any changes at half-time from either manager. It doesn't seem so. As Barnet will kick from right to left in the second half. Brentford B will kick from left to right. As now we're just watching out for the referee, Connor Griffiths. There he is to the left-hand side, who is walking out with the ball and ready to blow his whistle for us to get going again in the final. Barnet will need to improve, I think it's fair to say, if they do want their hands on the trophy in 45 minutes time. If the game is level after 90 minutes, it will go straight to penalties. As Barnet ready to get us underway for the second half. It's Rob Hall standing over the ball as we are all set. Second half kickoff. And the referee just checking that the keepers are ready. And they are, so off we go for the second half. Rob Hall plays it back. And De Havilland kicks it long for Barnet. Header was met, though, that time by Kramer. This is Fonguk now for Barnet, trying to chip one in behind. John Jeffries will break out with it, though, for Brentford. A rare slip that time from Lewis Gordon. He just managed to play it back in the end. Does Brentford B get it clear? Here's Richards Everton. And he struggled there, and Young Kumbis might be able to break down that right-hand side. It was brilliant shielding to spare the blushes of Richards Everton. It was Reece Greenidge able to cover there for Barnet. As Kramer looks to drive forward, but he's been dispossessed. Marriott breaks out with the ball now for the Bees. And that's an attempted ball in behind towards Mason Clark, who seems to have moved over to the left-hand side in this second half. He played over down that right in the first, but he's still on the ball here as he looks to go the long way around the Brentford fullback in Gordon. He was able to recover well with the challenge. And that's a good ball through the legs. That time from Trevitt as it was cleared away by Greenidge. And Brentford B ready for the throw. Still some of the fans just getting back to their, whether seats or where they are standing. But they haven't missed anything so far in this second half as it's still Brentford B 1, Barnet 0 as Rob Hall's going to win that header on towards Marriott. And perhaps a chance for now Mason Clark to break forward, but his pass was just a little bit short and left a lot for Greg O'Cox to do down that Barnet left. As Brentford break out of it down the right-hand side, it's Dom Jeffries as he's going to chip one down the line towards Young Coombs. Couldn't get onto it, and Marshall's got a little bit of time now for Barnet. Jordan Thomas, and then a long ball forward, but Marriott is offside. So Brentford B will get the free kick. It's been a lot more of an even feel about the start to this second half. Brentford B, without doubt, had the better of the first 45, which has been showed by the scoreline, as the header was won in there by Thomas. Although Brentford B are back on it now. Here is Hockenhall, as he's going to go direct now. Header was won by Fonguk. It's going to break, though, down this Brentford right, as it's Gordon. Here's Kramer for Brentford. Back out down this right-hand side. It's a good ball and a good pick-out by Gordon. As Oksanen keeps the move going, as they've got it down the left-hand side with Gilbert. And further out wide with Adedukan, as he'll go infield towards Dom Jeffries, and there's a little bit of room in the penalty area for Gilbert as he tried to reverse the ball back. It came back off the Barnet fullback, Jordan Thomas, and behind for a corner to Brentford. And the first opportunity for either side to get the ball into the penalty area in this second half. It's going to be an in-swinging ball towards the Barnet penalty area. As Jake Askew has players around him as it goes towards the near post. Was there a high boot? No, says the referee. He's awarded another corner for Brentford B. So the pressure will continue. As it's take two for Alex Gilbert. This one goes deeper. And the header once again was won by a Barnet player. That time it was Marshall, and once more he wanted a free kick off of the referee, but isn't to get it again. Here's Marriott now down the left-hand side for Barnet. He's been pressed by Gordon, and there was a good challenge from Dom Jeffries. As Barnet get on with the throw quickly down the left-hand side, but I think it deflected straight back off of Mason Clark, and it will go out for the Brentford B throw now down the right, which Kramer is ready to take. He did come from defence to score in Brentford B's last fixture. Tristan Kramer, the man taking the throw. He scored the third goal in a 4-0 win in the London Cup semi-final. Another final that Brentford B have in a few weeks' time. O'Scannon couldn't quite win the header on that occasion, but he's been helped out by Gordon, who will hook it clear for Brentford B. Fongak now for Barnet. Good close control. Under pressure, but he's kicked it straight into the referee, Connor Griffin. A few groans for the referee, but I'm not sure there's too much he could have done to get out of the way. I'm not even sure if Fongak's pass was reaching a Barnet player. So perhaps the refs just done him a favour, as it's Richard Everton playing it down the left-hand side. Can Mason Clark keep the move alive? He will now, as he plays it further out wide towards Grego Cox, dribbling infield. It's a no-look pass, and it's Rob Hall down the left-hand side of the penalty area. And Marriott, it was just past him, but he might get a second chance. And twice it's off the line, and then the final effort is in. And it's the Barnet equaliser early on in the second 45. And it's game on in the final. It was Ryan de Havilland with the effort from close range. And after 51 minutes, it's Brentford B 1, Barnet 1. And perhaps Brentford B might just be kicking themselves for the chances that they didn't take in the first 45. They've been punished now by Barnet in their first attack of this second half. And the level of interest in this cup final has just risen, as Brentford B are going to have to pick themselves up now. And they're trying to do so with a long ball forward early on. It's going to break for Dom Jeffries off his shoulder. But here's Fongak now for Barnet. He touches it back towards Richards Everton, just in front of us here. He goes long down the line. There's a strong, towering header one in there by Tristan Kramer. But Barnet really trying to put the pressure on Brentford B now. As this is Fongak. As he goes infield towards Grego Cox now of Barnet, trying to dribble inside. Not much room for the number 2, Jordan Thomas now. Here's Marshall. And this is Greenditch. He's been pressed though, and it was almost won back by the Brentford B number 10. But Gilbert couldn't quite get there second time round, as Barnet continued to progress with the ball now. And they've got it down the right-hand side with Jordan Thomas. Further out wide with Rob Hall now. A really good challenge in there from the Brentford man, Nico Jones, who looks to drive it out now for Brentford B. Here's Alex Gilbert, plays one forward, and this could be a chance now as they're still going forward. It's Travitt down the left-hand side of the penalty area. He was shielded out initially, but then he cuts it back, and it was a wild effort at goal in the end. It looked like it was Nico Jones coming up from defence to take that shot on the edge of the box. And I think you could tell that it was a defender getting that shot towards goal, as he skied it by some distance in the end, and Barnet have themselves a goal kick. That's Jake Askew ready to take, and this time it's the turn of the Brentford B supporters to put the ironic jeers on the Barnet goalkeeper. And it's almost work. It's just about kept in play by Richard Everton. That looked like a foul down the right-hand side. from on Lewis Gordon. It looks like it's been given in the end by the referee, Connor Griffin. He had an arm into the face of him. Perhaps he hasn't given it. He's awarded a throw on here for Brentford B. It looked anything but that, with an arm in the face of the Brentford player. As Lewis Gordon stays down for now. He has actually played for his national side, Scotland, at under 17 and under 19 level. But he's trying to push himself on the domestic stage at the moment. He would have been happy when his side were a goal up, but that's been replied to by Barnet early on in this second half, as Barnet now have a throw themselves. And it's still those Barnet fans making all the noise behind the goal to our left-hand side. As the throw's been taken just below us by Richard Everton. He goes down the line, but it's going to go straight back to him. Marriott tries to win the header, and he does, on towards Rob Hall. There was an important challenge in there from Cramer. He's got pressure on him, but he's found a good pass and gets the return now from Trevitt. But in the end, it was a rather rushed effort from the Brentford centre-back. There's the long ball forward from Jake Askew in goal for Barnet. The header was won in there by Nico Jones. Here's Dom Jeffries. He seemed to pull the shirt of Rob Hall as he was breaking away for Barnet, but he kept on going, and this is Marriott now, as Dom Jeffries this time fairly wins it for Brentford B and could perhaps start a breakout as he goes on past the halfway line. Lays it off to the left-hand side for Alex Gilbert. So he looks to go on the inside before playing one in behind, and it's young Coombs. It looked like a golden chance for a moment, but putting the pressure on him from behind was Rhys Greenwich. An important defensive intervention there just to put off the Brentford B number 9 and prevent him from getting his second of the evening. That's probably the best move we've seen from Brentford B in this second half. As the Barnet goalkeeper Jake Askew now rolls it out and will kick it long. It's Richard Everton battling away to win the header. And then it's smashed away by Hockenhall, who's in the middle of the back three for Brentford B this evening. It's a clearance that has gone out the stadium. And it's actually landed in a football pitch of a school just behind us. So I'm sure everyone there tomorrow morning will be happy to wake up to a new football as Brentford try to break clear, but it's going to bounce towards Marshall for Barnet. His clearance wasn't too great either. There was complaints for handball on Fungak, but it looked fair. As this is Richards Everton now for Barnet. He's going to go back towards Greenwich. A long ball in behind looking for Mason Clark. The header was won by Cramer. And this is Dom Jeffries. We'll lay it off to the left-hand side for Nico Jones. Adedukan's got a little bit of room now for Brentford as he looks to drive forward and drive infield. But there wasn't much disguise on his run forward as Rob Hall breaks out with the ball. Well read again by Cramer, who seems so confident on the ball. On the right-hand side of the back three for Brentford B. Gordon goes infield. This is now Jacko Oxenham. Gordon once more driving forward. There's an option down that left-hand side. It's Adedukan with the ball. It's a first-time cross into the penalty area and an important flick behind from Marshall, and it's a corner to Brentford. Once more the pressure building on Barnet. They grew into the first half, Brentford B, after 10 minutes. They're now growing into this second 45 as well. And can they make the most of it with a corner? Which is to be taken by Alex Gilbert. He actually scored 2 goals in the final ever game at Griffin Park, of course Brentford's former home. Can he set one up here in the final? It's a flat ball towards the back post, but there was a foul on the perhaps the goalkeeper. It looked Jake Askew. There was a few complaints from the managers just below us. Neil McFarlane wasn't too happy with the decision. The ball was actually in the net now, as it was kicked away by an angry Alex Gilbert. As Barnet will take the free kick. And it looks like it's going to go left and straight towards us again. As the very tall Ben Richards-Everton will be the target once more as he battles away again, but it's just over him and it allows a chance for Kramer to head it away for Brentford B. Here's Gordon. Goes slightly infield and a chance now for Trevitt to drive forward. He's got an option down the left with Adedukan. Being pressed out by Jordan Thomas of Barnet. A couple of step overs before getting it onto his left foot, but he's run straight into trouble. He'll be recycled now with the ball into the penalty area, but it was too close to the Barnet goalkeeper, who reacts quickly to throw it out now towards Richards-Everton, who looks to drive down the line for Barnet. It was good tracking back though from Gordon as he still goes on though, Richards-Everton, and that's a brilliant ball in behind, and this could be a chance for Barnet, left-hand side of the penalty area. There's a slip in there too, but it was matched in the end by a sit from Grego Cox. Couldn't make the most of it. It just shows the Barnet threat they do possess when they get forward and attack on that Brentford B defence. This is Adedukan. Plays it to his other fullback in Gordon. He will get it back again down this right-hand side. There is a player down off the ball. But the referee's happy for things to continue, although Barnet have decided on their own accord to put the ball out of play. And it does seem like it could be a potential head injury, so I'm surprised the referee was happy on his own accord to actually let it go. So it looks like it's Adedukan who is down. It is the number 3. He was actually in a Europa League squad for his former club Dundalk, but he never played. But he has played brilliantly this evening from that left-hand side, causing the Barnet Ride a lot of danger. But let's hope he's okay. Just seems his right thigh, perhaps, which is causing him a problem at the moment. Is there to be a change, and what would be the first change of the evening? We'll wait and see. As the referee's actually just below us having a word with the Barnet manager, Dean Brennan. Perhaps just asking him to calm down a little bit. And a chance for just a couple of the Brentford B players to have a word with their manager, Neil McFarlane. And the referee well, he's just asked Gordon to throw it back to the Barnet players as soon as we do resume, after just telling the Barnet backroom staff just to calm down and let things play again. As we're just waiting for the referee, Conor Griffin, to allow us to replay, which he does do now. And Brentford B play it back to Barnet with Richards-Everton looking to play one down the line. Can Barnet get on the attack? As Kramer struggled to deal with it initially, but recovered. Here's Oskanen, now down the right-hand side with a brilliant switch of play from Lewis Gordon. And a chance to drive forward now for Alex Gilbert of Brentford. As he still goes on, he's got an option to his left-hand side. And it's Nico Jones who comes up from defence to help out. This is Dom Jeffries now for Brentford B. Oskanen, who's being pressed by Mason Clark. And a bit too much pressure in the end from the Barnet man to bring down the number 14 of Brentford B, who take the free kick short and back. This is a switch from Hockenhull over to that right-hand side. The header was matched, though, by Richards-Everton. This is Gordon again, and once more being tracked down by Richards-Everton as he looks to play one down the line towards Grego Cox, who goes on the inside of Kramer, and he looks to play it towards Marriott, but it just evaded him with the pass. He's going to have a second chance. He's going to hit it on the half volley, and it almost caused problems there for Matthew Cox, who seemed just a little bit late to react initially to the ball bouncing up towards him from close range, but he held on to it, though. One of the easier saves he'll have to make. As this is Hockenhull on the ball for Brentford B. Looking to drive past Marriott, and he does do so successfully. Here's young Coombs, who's been quiet in this second 45. He spreads it out to that left-hand side for Val Adedukan. looking to take on Rob Hall as he gets his ball into the penalty area. That was headed away by Marshall, and it's going to break for Mason Clark, who looks to now drive away for Barnet. Can he lead this counter-attack as he goes on the inside? And it's Fonguk making the overlapping run. Not too many with him to help, although Marriott does make the run. In fact, it was Grego Cox, and he was brought down despite the protests of Tristan Kramer, who thought it was a soft one given in favour to the Barnet man. But Brentford B are going to have to be anything but soft in defending this free kick, as Barnet have a good chance to get the ball into the Brentford B penalty area. Ryan de Havilland ready to take. It's going to be an in-swinging kick. Can Barnet complete the turnaround in a Middlesex Senior Challenge Cup final? The 128th edition of it too. Here is the number 33 ready to take, as the referee blows his whistle, and it goes towards the back post, but there was some pushing and shoving, and the free kick goes to Brentford B. And Barnet have made sure that they couldn't get on with the free kick quickly. So it looks like Hockenhull's just holding the back of his head. He seems okay, he is walking. So he gets a fist bump from his goalkeeper. It was strong defending from the number 5, who won his side the free kick. As it's Matthew Cox ready to take. He's going to go long towards that left-hand side. There was almost a lot of time in there from the number 10, Alex Gilbert, but it just went over his head as Barnet looked to move it forward now with Mason Clark driving on. Was he tripped by Dom Jeffries? He was. Looks like the referee is going to keep the cards in his pocket again. Richards Everton wasn't too happy. He just had a word with the 4th official down below us. Just saying that's a few challenges now from Dom Jeffries. But another chance for Barnet to get the ball into the Brentford B penalty area. This time Rob Hall will join in with Ryan de Havilland. Which will it be? It's Rob Hall. It's towards the back post. And in the end, the flick on was just wide. It was Marriott, or perhaps even Marshall, who was challenging for the header as he came up from defence, but couldn't punish Brentford B. We take the goal kick short with Matthew Cox. A little bit of pressure now on Hockenhull, who was pulled down in the end. And the free kick does go the way of Brentford B. And still some great noise inside the Beverley Stadium from the travelling Barnet support. They've travelled from northwest to southwest London on a breezy Tuesday evening. As Trevitt plays it towards Gordon, who flicks one in behind, and now it's Gilbert who will return it towards Gordon again. He's got a chase on though, and the chase was won really well by the Barnet number 15, Reece Greenidge. Great shielding there from the number 15, strong defending. He is on a yellow card, so he had to be extra careful, and will have to be extra careful with any challenge he makes between now and the end. So we're still yet to see any action from the benches below us in terms of substitutions. As the goal kick goes long, the header was won in there by Trevitt. Barnet have it back and kick it long. The header won by Nico Jones. Dom Jeffries plays it over to the right-hand side. It's Gordon as he skips away from Fonguk, who will keep the pressure on him. Dom Jeffries again. Kramer. He tried to be a little bit cheeky in the way he dribbled out that time. He's been good on most occasions, but now he's put a strong challenge in on Rob Hall. And perhaps it is time for the referee to show a yellow card to a Brentford B player. It was an overstretched sliding challenge from the Brentford B number 24, Tristan Kramer. And he is going to be shown a yellow. Who has seemed to run away from the referee. But I think he knows he is in the book now. As Brentford B setting up their two-man wall. Barnet have another chance to put the ball into the penalty area. They've had a couple in this second half. Ryan de Havilland to take. But first, a word with Nico Jones and Marshall. After a little bit of pushing and shoving, which has been a theme in a lot of corners and free kicks that have been taken, a lot of fouls given in favour of the defending side. Let's see what the attacking side on this occasion can do. As de Havilland with an in-swinging ball, it's headed away by Dumfries, and it's breaking now on the edge of the penalty area as Richards Everton had a shot away. And there was a deflection in there. Can it be kept in play by Adedukan? It was, as he cleared it away. And Barnet can keep on going with this pressure on Brentford B. Jake Askew, a long way out from his goal, and he's given it straight towards Brentford. And this could be a chance. There's a goal to shoot out. As Gilbert in the end took too long as he tried to cut inside, and then allowed time for the Barnet defence to recover. Big chance in there for Brentford B, and a big, big let-off for Jake Askew. As Brentford B are lining up a sub just below us. But we'll have more on that in a moment. As they've got it down this left-hand side now. This is Gilbert, who plays it back out wide again. And that's now intercepted, and a chance to break out for Barnet. It's Rob Hall, who will go back towards Marshall, being pressed by young Coombs, along with Dom Jeffries. And it was a challenging kick out there for the Barnet goalkeeper, Jake Askew, as Fonguk's now got a little bit of room to break away from. He's got an option to his left-hand side. He decides to go right for Marriott, but he's not going to get there. It's Cox who will in goal for Brentford B. Hockenhull. And this is now Oksanen. Dom Jeffries. Oh, he's sold Gordon a little bit short there, but he's able to get to the second ball, but not keep it for much longer as well. Here's Grego Cox trying to drive away for Barnet. It's Marriott. It's Grego Cox on the edge of the penalty area as he shoots towards goal, and it's narrowly wide of that far corner. Here comes the Brentford B change. So we're just waiting to find out who is coming on. And it's Harris who will come on for Brentford. An attacking option. And the first change of the evening. So we'll resume play with the goal kick. To be taken by Cox. As it goes long towards young Coombs. He couldn't win the header, as Marshall was strong enough. And here's Rob Hall now for Barnet. A little bit of room for Richards Everton. First time ball in field. Back out down the left-hand side for Funguk. Rob Hall again. Richards Everton again. And a first time ball in from Rob Hall. It's over everyone and out by Nico Jones. And then cleared long by Trevitt. And now young Coombs will get onto it, and he'll flick it on well this time towards Gilbert, trying to drive away for Brentford B. There was a good challenge in there, a strong challenge in there from Greenidge. And can he now start this Barnet attack as they're in behind the defence down the left-hand side as Grego Cox plays the ball across goal. And in the end it's skied. Huge opportunity for Barnet. Huge let-off for Brentford B. That could have been 2-1. It was Mason Clark with the effort from close range, as he looked to curl it in towards that top right-hand corner, the same corner which young Coombs found from a further distance in the first half. But he couldn't find the target, and that was a big chance squandered for Barnet. As the goal kick's taken long by Cox and taken down superbly down the left-hand side by Adedukan as he plays one further now for Gilbert for Brentford. As he looks to curl it towards the far corner. There might have been a touch in there for a Brentford player, as it does go behind for the goal kick. which Jake Askew will take his time with. As again, all the players of both Brentford and Barnet are right below us down this Barnet left, ready for the kick long. And Richards Everton went down, and Barnet will get the free kick on the halfway line. It was a foul from Tristan Kramer. And the goalkeepers come a long way out now, as Barnet first are going to make a change, their first of the evening. It's Powell who's coming on. Rob Hall is the man to make way for Barnet. And it's Powell coming on to replace him, the number 10 of the Bees. And his first job is to try and help Barnet with this free kick, which is, I'm sure, going to go long by the goalkeeper. Will it go left? It will, towards Richards Everton, but it's too far away from him, and it's a waste from Barnet in the end. A poor kick from their number 24 in goal, Jake Askew. Who's played in the under-18s at the Premier League level for Chelsea before signing here. He's also won Young Player of the Year at Wealdstone as well, the Barnet goalkeeper. Not his finest moment with that free kick, because Brentford B are on it now down the right-hand side, as it's Gilbert trying to drive forward. He's got an option further out wide, which he ignores initially. Dom Jeffries couldn't quite get onto it, but young Coombs will be able to keep the move alive. This is now Pert Harris. A little Cruyff away from trouble before returning it to Dom Jeffries, who's going to shoot, and it's too close to the goalkeeper, who will save comfortably. But he hasn't had a shot like that in the second half, Dom Jeffries. A couple from the edge of the penalty area in the first half, which he missed the target. He did find the target there, but caused no trouble to the Barnet goalkeeper, who will now kick it long there, Jake Askew. The header is going to be won by Kramer, but it was dangerously on towards Nico Jones. He's got a little bit of time, which Barnet allow him to have, although a rather rush kick forward in the end, as now Grego Cox looks to burst forward. And he's got away from Nico Jones, and he still goes on, and he gets the ball towards the penalty area. It was a waste in the end. It was well overhit from Rhys Grego Cox, who scored 3 goals in the National League this season, but way off scoring one there. As here comes another Brentford B change. And it's Magoma who's coming on, and he's replacing Jacko Oksanen. So their second change of the evening for Brentford B. And the stadium announcers just missed the substitution. And he's going to ask the fourth official to raise the board again. And Mapongo is on for Brentford B. As it's Gordon now down the left-hand side. And this is the other Brentford B substitute on the ball, playing it to the new substitute in Mapongo. Now it's with Kramer. And out wide down this right-hand side, as it's a reverse ball forward, which is dealt with by Fonguk for Barnet. And here is the substitute. And now with the number 25, Pert Harris. Dom Jeffries now, a little bit of room as he looks to drive forward for Brentford towards the edge of the penalty area before playing it back out wide towards Gordon. Gets a ball in towards young Coombs, it's just over him. And then coming in at the back post as well was Ryan Trevitt, who now looks to help out defensively for Brentford B, but perhaps made matters worse as Barnet get themselves a free kick. Which Jake Askew will take his time with. as we're approaching the closing stages at 1-1. And you know what that could mean. If it does stay level after 90, it will go to penalties. I think it's happened 5 or 6 times in this competition's history. And in the 128th final, might be happening again, unless Barnet or Brentford B can get a goal before the end. As it looked like it was just about kept in play there by Powell, as the ball goes in behind towards Mason Clark. Right by the corner flag. He's taken on the Brentford man as he reverses it back towards Fonguk, who tries to play that ball forward. That was cleared away by Kramer. As the pressure continues from Barnet with a throw now down this left-hand side. Richards Everton, who's got a tussle on with Gilbert. He lost out, and that's a foul one by the substitute, Magoma, who's seen a lot of the ball since coming on for Brentford B. As here comes the free kick kicked long by Trevitt. Header one in there by Greenidge. Richards Everton now for Barnet. Will look to play one down the line. Kramer takes it down with his chest though. He's being pressed this time by Marriott, but he's managed to find the ball to the number 25, Pert Harris, who will get the return now down the right-hand side. A little bit of room to drive onto the penalty area as he cuts it back, but there was no one there in a red and white shirt. As now Barnet look to drive it away. And Powell's going to try and get onto that loose ball. And so too will Mason Clark, who did get a touch on it, but it was defended well in there by Kramer. And that's good work by Pert Harris. And now a chance to drive forward, as Gordon goes on before playing a ball in, and it was defended in the end by the number 15, Reece Greenidge. Just to touch it back to his goalkeeper, accidentally, which is why he was able to pick it up. Here's Marriott now for Barnet. And a chance to drive forward for de Havilland, but it was a loose pass in the end, and Hockenhall was able to win it back for Brentford B. Magoma plays the 1-2. And this is now Gilbert for Brentford B, beyond the halfway line, looking to continue with his run forward. Young Coombs is making the run off the ball. Can he get to the ball? No, because it was an important intervention by Greenidge, who clears it long. And Brentford B continue to build this pressure now with Kramer, as he turns away from Powell and gets it through his legs. Magoma now. Almost got it caught between his feet for a moment, as he plays the ball forward towards Gilbert, who drives towards the centre, before playing it out wide down this left-hand side. As it's a ball in from Adedukan, and it's flicked on at the back post, and there still might be an opportunity. But it looks like Richards Everton is going to get it clear for Barnet. He's taking his time to do so down this left flank, as he does kick it long eventually. Marriott tries to head it on for Barnet, but he can't find a teammate. And Brentford B get a throw now down the right. And the Brentford B staff just below us, encouraging their team to continue with this pressure on the Barnet goal. There was a pull down from Greenidge, and it was on Trevitt. And it looks like he's walking away from it, and it looks like it's going to be Gilbert to take the free kick for Brentford B. And they're going to get the ball into the Barnet box. As the keeper, I think, wants a one-man wall, which will be occupied by Powell, the Barnet substitute, their only substitute so far of the evening. As here comes the ball into the box from Alex Gilbert. As it goes towards the centre of it, and it's keeper's ball, and perhaps a chance to hit one long early. Will Powell get to it? No, because it was misdirected. And Brentford B will get a throw, and now a chance to get themselves forward again, and there's a little bit of room for Trevitt down this right-hand side. He's been pressed by Powell, but he gets round him initially before turning back. And now playing it back towards Gilbert. Good little ball towards Dom Jeffries, who was shielded out by Fonguk, who looks to play one in behind early, and now a chance for Grego Cox to drive forward for Barnet on the counter-attack. Fonguk's making the run in behind, but it was an overhit pass. And Magoma is able to recover it for Brentford B, but not for long, as it's Mason Clark. Was he tripped? It looked soft, and the referee will agree with that, as Magoma breaks out with it again now for Brentford B, and a chance to drive forward. Oh, and in the end, two Brentford players getting in each other's way, but Pert Harris will break out with it and will drive forward. As he skips inside on the edge of the area, a reverse ball towards Young Coombs. It was well cut out there by Jordan Thomas. And this is Mason Clark now for Barnet. He's got an option down the left-hand side with Fonguk, who takes the control with his left foot before driving on with his right. And a weak pass with his right, which Kramer will be able to snap up. But he can't do much better as Mason Clark is back on it. Fonguk now for Barnet. It's a strong challenge from Wagoma, but a fair one. It's still going to break out for de Havilland. And his pass in behind towards Mason Clark seemed to find him, but it was a tired-looking piece of control there from the Barnet number 11, who could have been in behind. Here's Dom Jeffries now for Brentford B, as it's starting to turn a little bit more end-to-end as we approach the closing stages. Dom Jeffries. And a tired pass from him on that occasion. So Barnet get a throw now down the right. De Havilland will take it down. Let's play it down the line as well. Marriott. Thomas trying to break away. It was well dealt with by Adadukan, who will now break out with it for Brentford B. And now a chance for Gilbert perhaps down this left-hand side as he looks to drive towards the penalty area. A little shimmy away from trouble, but not away from Richards Everton, who missed his kick. But did he hit the Brentford player in Young Coombs? No, says the referee, as Mason Clark breaks out with it now for Barnet. He's run into Dom Jeffries, but he'll get a second chance now before chipping one down this left-hand side. Can Powell break away? But it was coolly dealt with by Kramer, who's just had a superb evening at right centre-back for Brentford B. And he's got time now to pass this out. And he finds Magoma. Here's Hockenhull. A flat pass forward towards Young Coombs, who will look to drive forwards for Brentford B. He's got an option down the left-hand side with Gordon, but he still goes on towards the penalty area. Down he goes, and the referee says penalty. And the Barnet player, de Havilland, not happy with the decision from Conor Griffin. As Brentford B might just have a big opportunity. I just wonder, I've seen a yellow card being shown by the referee Conor Griffin, and if it was for de Havilland, he could have been in trouble. But it will be interesting to see that again. It looked like there was a little bit of contact with the ball from first glance. As he drove forward Young Coombs into the penalty area. Was he clipped from behind? Perhaps. But the penalty's been awarded, and it's the referee's decision which is the most important. And it's Young Coombs who opened the scoring. Will try and close it. As Jake Askew trying to do his best to pull off the Brentford B attacker. But it's Young Coombs who will step up right-footed, and it's saved. Will they be able to get the rebound? No, as it was a strong challenge from Greenwich. And what a key moment that could be in the final. Brilliant save down the left-hand side from Jake Askew. He read the mind of the Brentford attacker, Nathan Young Coombs. It was a rather tame penalty in the end. And as long as the Barnet goalkeeper, Jake Askew, guessed right, it was always going to be in his favour to save. And now that's livened up the Barnet crowd to our left-hand side. As there's a change now for Brentford. Dom Jeffries is coming off. And it's Roy Seiler who will come on for Brentford B. In their final change. Dom Jeffries has had a good evening. He's helped control that midfield. But he makes way now. And he did a tired-looking pass just a couple of minutes ago. And perhaps that's provided an incentive for him to be taken off by his manager, Neil McFarlane. As Brentford B now have a corner and a chance to get the ball into the Barnet penalty area. And Barnet, as we speak, are just lining up their last substitution, but we'll bring more of that as it comes. But let's see what Brentford B can do with the corner. It's going to be an outswinging ball from Gilbert. It was a flat, floated one in last time round towards the back post. Let's see what happens this time round from the Brentford B number 10. It's another floated ball in, and it was met at the back post as well by Hockenhall, but he headed wide of the far post because he couldn't redirect it back across goal. But a good chance because he seemed to tower above any Barnet pressure. And the attendance has just been read out, 751. Not a bad crowd for the cup final. But is there to be a grandstand finish? As Jake Askew, who's just saved the penalty, which has stopped that for now, will now kick it long towards Richards Everton, who flicks it on towards Powell. In fact, it's Mason Clark who will get there first for Barnet down the left-hand side as he plays it on towards Powell, who's in on goal, but he shoots wide off the far post. And perhaps that was the golden opportunity for Barnet that time round, as it was missed by the substitutes. He just needed a cooler head in the key moment there. The Barnet number 10. As he was clear in on goal down that left-hand side of the penalty area. But a side football across goal was wide, as now can Brentford B get an attack on themselves. It's Gordon who looks to dribble infield for the Bees. Magomo. This is now Trevitt down the line again for the substitute. As it's Magoma again, dribbling infield this time before playing it infield. Young Coombs went down. Referee says no foul. Mason Clark looks to break away now for Barnet. As it's livening up inside the Beverley Stadium, and there's a strong challenge in there from the Brentford substitute, and he's going to see a yellow card now. The Brentford number 19. There's a few shouts of a potential red card, but it's the yellow card that's given. It was a poor challenge. There was no chance of him getting the ball there, Magoma. But he felt he had to make it to stop the Barnet counter-attack. It's left a little bit on Mason Clark, who remains down. And the referee, the Barnet manager, Dean Brennan, is really unhappy with the referee's decision, claiming it could have been a potential leg breaker. And he's gone as far as saying career-ending. It wasn't the cleverest tackle there from the Brentford player. And if you have picked up any bad language, we do apologise. So apologies for any bad language that could have been picked up, as Mason Clark does remain down for Barnet. He's just being treated by the medics, as actually the Barnet boss below us, I think, has just been shown yellow. And 4 minutes are going to be added on at the end of the 90. So perhaps we're 4 minutes away from a potential penalty shootout to decide the Middlesex Senior Challenge Cup final. So the Barnet boss, Dean Brennan, is in the book, along with the Brentford substitute, Paris Magoma, for his challenge on Mason Clark, who's still struggling just down below us to our left-hand side. We've just been told it was 4 minutes added on. Perhaps it might be just another, thanks to this delay. But once Mason Clark is okay, which we of course all hope he is, there will be a good chance for Barnet to get the ball into the Brentford B penalty area, with not long left in the final. Is there to be one last twist, as it's de Havilland out to take the free kick. It's a long way before it reaches the Brentford B penalty area. It's going to have to be a quality ball from the Barnet number 33 just below us. As Barnet are making a change, I believe their final change as well. And it's the man who was just taken out, I believe, Mason Clark, who's not fit enough to continue, and he looks actually in some discomfort just below us. He's still being treated off the field now by the medics. And it's Lewis Walsh, who is coming on for the last exchanges here. And his first duty will be trying to help Barnet with this ball into the penalty area, just to be taken by de Havilland. It's a flat ball, it's a bit of a waste. It might have actually been going on target, but it was saved comfortably by Matthew Cox, who will kick it long quickly now for Brentford B. Can they go down the other end and cause Barnet some problems? As it's Harris on the edge of the area, reverse ball towards young Coombs. He thought he was offside, and he was, but he dragged the shot wide anyway of the far corner. And Barnet will get a free kick now for the offside. And it's really turning end to end in these last few minutes. As perhaps Jake Askew in goal for Barnet will help take a little bit of a breather and slow things down before the end. Barnet have done really well in terms of improving for the poor showing in the first 45. They got themselves an equaliser early on in this second half. But can they get a winner? Or can Brentford B, who seemed like huge favourites after the first half showing? As Nico Jones tries to win the header on, it's going to break for Powell perhaps. No, because it's cleared away by Hussenhall. As long it goes again for a first touch for the number 9. As it's Walsh who looks to drive on down that left flank. It looks like he's overhit it, and it goes out for the goal kick for Brentford B. As the goal kick's been taken short, it's Hockenhall. This is Kramer. A little bit of time to drive out from the right-hand side as he's going to go direct and long towards young Coombs. But it's going to be seen out by Thomas, although the number 9's putting the pressure on him now. And he went in with the sliding challenge. Did he get the ball? Yes, says the referee. As they're still battling it out at the far corner. And Brentford B come out on top as they swing a ball into the penalty area. It's headed away by Greenidge. And in the end, there was a foul. One which the Brentford B staff just below us aren't too happy with on Jordan Thomas. They thought it was soft. But it's one you always see given in favour of the defender, no matter on how much contact there is. As Jake Askew ready to take the free kick. He's just had the ball thrown away, which is just going to add to the time as we are approaching penalties. As they're all gathered up around the centre circle now, as Jake Askew ready to kick it long for Barnet. Mason Clark just below us is still getting treatment from that earlier challenge. Of course, he's off the field now as the header was won in by Kramer. Breaks for de Havilland. This is Grego Cox looking to drive down the right-hand side for Barnet. Is there to be a late twist in their favour? Here is the number 39. As he gets a ball in, it was a low ball in and it was cleared away by Nico Jones. Marshall is going to try and win the header. It wasn't won very convincingly. So Brentford B get a throw now down the left-hand side on the halfway line as they look to press forward. Although, as I say that, they've gone backwards with the throw, and it's Nico Jones. And all the way back to their goalkeeper, Matthew Cox, who's been jeered on by the opposing Barnet fans behind him as he kicks it long towards Trevitz. The header was won in there by Richard Everton. Here's Powell. Good first touch out of his feet as he goes infield. It's Walsh. It's Fongak. There's room in the middle now and a chance for de Havilland to drive forward for Barnet. Options down the left-hand side, but he couldn't find any. And he only found the Brentford B defender, Hockenhall. As now it's Trevitz looking to drive forward for Brentford. He goes infield. This is Gilbert now driving further infield. Option down the left-hand side with Gordon. He's going to try and get it onto his stronger right foot as he goes back towards Pert Harris. Magoma now. And now a shooting opportunity on the edge of the area. That was blocked. And that is that in terms of the 90 minutes. And the final of the Middlesex Senior Challenge Cup will be decided on penalties. No extra time as the managers from both sets of teams shake hands, and we're just waiting which side the penalties will be taken. I think they're being taken to our right-hand side. And we will be back in just a moment's time for penalties.
At the end of my life, St Luke's changed my life.
In the comfort of my own home.
They helped me get my independence back.
and helped me to walk again.
I thought it was just a waiting room to die.
So I was pretty scared about coming.
But when I'm here, I wish I could stay longer.
For the music therapy.
Or the massages.
And the big helping of humour.
And the friends. The hospice made me realise I'm not the only one going through this.
I learned a lot from my companions.
Like how to celebrate life.
Even in difficult times.
And tough conversations.
You can cry at St Luke's and somebody is there to give you a hug and a cup of tea.
There's nothing they can't do.
Whatever I need, anytime, night or day.
They help me to manage the pain.
Enough to send me home again.
I would have been lost without them.
And welcome back to the Beverley Stadium as this year's edition of the Middlesex Senior Challenge Cup final will be decided by a penalty shootout. As we speak, the two sets of players are in their team huddles, getting prepared for their initial 5 penalty takers and the ones after if we do reach sudden death. So we'll bring you a quick summary of the 90 minutes as we wait for penalties. There was a superb goal to open the scoring for Brentford B and for young Coombs, his 29th goal of the season. As the penalties, I did make the mistake, they are being taken to our left-hand side, I believe, not our right-hand side. As Barnet responded after half-time. Quite early on after half-time, it was a couple of efforts which ended up with a shooting opportunity at the back post before the equaliser. And that is what's got us to this stage. There was a penalty as well mixed in between, which was missed by young Coombs, with all odds on him to score. It was a fine save from the Barnet goalkeeper, Jake Askew, who will have to make a few more saves perhaps if he wants his side to be champions, the 128th champion of the Middlesex Senior Challenge Cup. As the referees just having a word with the captains as we're almost set for the penalties. Well, looks like Barnet are going to be starting us off, and it looks like it's going to be their substitute Powell. And the stadium announcer is helping me out as well with letting us know who's taken. So it's right in front of those Barnet fans. And it will be Barnet to take the first penalty. Powell to take the first penalty. It's both him against Matthew Cox. It's been an eventful evening. What will happen at the climax of it? So Powell to start. It's going to be a right-footed effort. As the referee blows his whistle. And Daniel Powell coolly passes it in to the right-hand side of the goal, sending Matthew Cox the wrong way, and Barnet lead in the shootout. Such a calm penalty to shoot it into the opposing corner to where the goalkeeper dived to. So first penalty taken, first penalty scored, and now it's Travitt who will try to reply for Brentford B. As he takes on Jake Askew right in front of those Barnet fans. Here is the number 11. Right-footed again, and just as coolly done as the first. 1-1 in the shootout now. And that's the first set of penalties out the way. So Barnet now will get on with their second penalty. It's Marriott to take. Don't tell anyone in the stadium, but I beat the stadium announcer to the name that time. As it's the number 14 of Barnet, who scored twice in the semi-final to get them to this stage. Scores superbly in the shootout, finding that top left-hand corner. And it's the best penalty of the bunch so far from the Barnet number 14. And let's see if Brentford can reply. As it's Roy Seiler to take the next penalty, the fourth penalty. Brentford second. They were the champions of this competition in 2019. Can they win it again? They're going to need Seiler to score. But he's bladed over the bar, and he's gifted Barnet an opportunity perhaps now in the shootout. Barnet 2-1 up, with the same amount of penalties taken. As Grego Cox now steps up for Barnet. The number 39 against the Brentford number 1. So in a battle between the Bees and the Bees, it's Cox against Cox, and it's the goalkeeper who wins the battle. And no sooner do Brentford B miss to Barnet. And it stays 2-1 for now. And now another chance for Brentford to equalise through Alex Gilbert. He scored the opener in Brentford B's semi-final in the London Cup just last week. That was from a header. Let's see if he can score in the shootout from the spot. So Gilbert to level things up after 3 penalties each. And it's a superb save. It's Jake Askew who saved a big penalty within the 90. Saves one now in the shootout. 3 penalties taken for each side. Barnet 2-1 up. And they are 2 goals away from being the champions for the 3rd time in their club's history. As it's Richards Everton to take the latest. Kick number 4. It's the first left-footed penalty from a Barnet player. And it's off the post. It's got a hand to by the goalkeeper, but then it hits the other side of the net. He must be feeling pretty relieved now, Richards Everton. Because he sent his side to 1 kick away. And it's Pert Harris who will take next for Brentford B. And he has to score. Otherwise, Barnet will be champions. A lot of pressure on the Brentford B number 25. And it's pressure he'll deal with as he finds the bottom left-hand corner. But Barnet still have a chance to win it. It's 3-2 in the shootout. If it becomes 4-2, then there is no way back for Brentford B. It's Ryan de Havilland to step up to potentially win Barnet the cup. Here is the number 33 as he wins it. It's been a superb 90 minutes and a better penalty shootout after. And Barnet win the Middlesex Senior Challenge Cup 4-2 on penalties after 1-1 over 90 minutes. And that is the end of a fine evening at the Beverley Stadium as the Barnet fans behind the goal to the left-hand side celebrate as they win the silverware. And we thank you for watching, and we hope you enjoy the trophy presentation to come now. So first, the losing side, Brentford B, their captain Lewis Gordon will go up to claim his side's rewards for second place in the cup, as the Barnet fans just by us now, who have stayed after the 90 and after the penalties to watch their side celebrate being champions of the Middlesex Senior Challenge Cup, as it's the referee's turn to step up. Conor Griffin, along with Sebastian Fraser and Mr. Briggs as well, as they all step up to claim their awards for, I'd say, a pretty decent refereeing performance from the lot of them. Perhaps the managers below us would have disagreed at different points in the game. As Brentford B team now, as you may have heard from the stadium announcer, are off to collect their runners-up medals. They've been superb throughout the whole competition. The likes of the 11-0 win in the round of 16 against Broadfields United was a highlight of their tournament. Maybe even the goal that gave them the lead tonight from Nathan Young-Coombs. It was a spectacular effort which deserved more out of in terms of the result. As Barnet fans sing "One Bees in London." And I think they're referring to themselves, as the Brentford B team are almost finished collecting their medals, and it's almost the turn of the champions, the 128th champions of Barnet. It's their third ever triumph. Here they come, as they're almost set to first collect their medals and then lift the trophy. As the stadium announcer wants them to hurry up with it, but perhaps they deserve to take as long as they want after such a resilient performance, I would say. Brentford B had their moments where they were on top, but Barnet stuck at it. They came from behind in terms of equalising in the second half, but then took charge in the penalty shootout. And they're almost ready to lift the trophy. And it's Mason Clark, who's just at the back of that line for Barnet, who seems to have just about recovered from the strong challenge on him late on in that second half. He is all taped up, though, on his right knee. He's the last of the Barnet players to collect their medals. And here we go, as Barnet ready to lift the trophy, the champions of the Middlesex Senior Challenge Cup 2022 for the third time in their club's history, as they lift the trophy in front of their travelling support from North West London. It's been a superb evening for one of the Bees, and in that it's Barnet, as they win on penalties and become Middlesex Senior Challenge Cup champions. We thank you for listening. I've been your commentator, Tyler Morris. Thank you very much.
At the end of my life, St. Luke's changed my life.
In the comfort of my own home.
They helped me get my independence back.
And helped me to walk again.
I thought it was just a waiting room to die.
So I was pretty scared about coming.
But when I'm here, I wish I could stay longer.
For the music therapy.
Or the massages.
And the big helping of humour.
And the friends. The hospice made me realise I'm not the only one going through this.
I learned a lot from my companions.
Like how to celebrate life.
Even in difficult times.
And tough conversations.
You can cry at St. Luke's and somebody is there to give you a hug and a cup of tea.
There's nothing they can't do.
Whatever I need, anytime, night or day.
They help me to manage the pain.
enough to send me home again.
I would have been lost without them.